somewhere, perhaps in the middle of the great Atlantic Ocean, a fairly large island. It lies far away from any continent, and few know of its existence. It may even exist in another dimension or in some alternate universe. Crystal Island, this little-known place is called. It is a haven of peace and beauty. In certain respects, it resembles lands that we all know, but in others, it is unlike any place on earth. For though its residents are like you and me, just people, that is to say, they distinguish themselves from one another in ways that the countries of earth only pretend to do. They exaggerate national characteristics that in our world we know are seldom clearly defined, which is why our boasting of Yankee ingenuity and German genius is so clearly a pretense. And many of them take excessive pride in the outer garbs they wear. There are 5 clans on Crystal Island, and each is noted for some special talent, as are many of the nations of our world. Each clan wears a special color, too, as we ourselves differentiate or wear different colored skins. The colors also emphasize the concept of clannishness. There is Clan Emerald, which specializes in dance. Now, the Emerald Clan members dress in green, and they try, not always with success, to be graceful in their movements and to dance, but some of them only sort of. And to express in movement the characteristics that humanity everywhere possesses, from gaiety to flowing beauty, from pomposity to arrogance. For you see, despite their limited interests, these are all just people like you and me. Then there's Clan Topaz. Now, Topaz specializes in song, and its members dress, as their name suggests, in yellow. Topaz members concentrate all the variety of human beings in vocal expression. Some of them do it well, and others, well, not so well. They are simply people, after all. Then there's Clan Azure, which specializes in poetry. Now, Azure dresses in blue, and the members of Clan Azure try their best, because it's a cultural thing with them, to speak poetically.
We few, we happy few, we band of brothers.
Then there's Clan Ruby, which specializes in merriment and dresses in red. Now, these rubies, they enjoy humor, they tell jokes, they laugh a lot, and of course, human beings being what they are, there are many kinds of humor, depending on a person's nature, from kindly laughter to jeering mockery and cutting sarcasm. And finally, there is Clan Amethyst, whose members' predilection is for philosophy. They wear the color purple. Their philosophizing displays again the wide variety of human nature, from a deep desire to know truth to mere guile, from clever rationalizations to the clumsiest self-justification. Well, as you can see, no clan is perfect in itself. In fact, you and I know that these qualities need to be combined for human perfection to be attained, and the colors intertwine for the appreciation of humanity's full potential. But the clans have yet to learn this lesson. Many of their members pride themselves, as those in the world we know do, in their own characteristics. Each clan, of course, tends to view itself as the best clan of all. The play brings correction to that narrowness of vision in the way that fate often itself brings lessons to us all. The action takes place at the end of a long war. Some time ago, Clan Azure invaded Clan Topaz. The other 3 clans, recognizing the invasion as a threat to their own safety, too joined Clan Topaz against the invader. At last, the allies were victorious. Clan Azure was defeated. The plot of our play concerns a proposal made after the hostilities to establish a lasting peace. The proposal takes the form of a peace treaty. Isn't that how so many nations try to settle these matters? Alas, pride, vengefulness, selfishness, and and all the dreary catalogue of human failings intervene to prevent genuine acceptance of this noble proposal. At last, another solution is found, one that all of us might do well to seek for ourselves in our own lives.
Fantastic! How we beat them! It was slash here, slash there! Leap them out of ambush! Charge at them down the slope! Jump from a rock onto an unsuspecting back! Thrust, parry, ha ha! Leap aside lightly when an azure devil darted in for the kill, and then, catch him off guard and... Did you see me in battle, Robin? Was anyone so brave, so agile, so cunning? I was everywhere. Thrust, parry. Oh, what glory! What heroism! What a fantastic thing is war!
I thought I saw you at the height of battle resting on a rock.
Resting? I was crouched, ready to leap onto an azure's back.
But Baltan, the action had moved elsewhere.
Ha! I was ready for it in case it returned. The wise warrior, as opposed to the mere soldier, anticipates action, awaits the enemy's next move, and then it's thrust, parry, slash here, slash there.
When I saw you, I had the distinct impression you were lying down.
You saw that, did you? Mark my cunning! No one could have seen me from below.
Nor could you have seen anyone below.
I'd have leapt down onto his back undetected, flashed an arm about the villain's neck, struck deep with a dagger and forced him down, till he lay flat on his back. Clan Azure would soon have wept the loss of yet another of their mighty warriors.
If you were leaping onto his back, only falling forward to his knees and his chest?
Oh, a quibble.
Yes, but this quibble makes me wonder how conscious you were in planning your strategy. The whole scheme has a certain subconscious miasma to it.
Tut, Robin, come on now. We've a victory to celebrate. And what a thrilling victory it was. You must have noticed. As the battle raged, Clan Emerald was always at the forefront.
The question is at the forefront of what? But never mind, we won. All of us together. United in battle, united in victory. Oh, trees, be my witness. This great achievement will be recorded in song for all posterity to hear. Troubadours will praise us to our grandchildren and to their children's children and on for countless generations. Oh, trees, mighty though you be, yet mightier still our might in this great mighty war. Oh, trees.
I begin to understand now why the enemy fled.
To me, it has appeared a tragedy of vast dimensions that we alone, Clan Topaz, out of all 5 clans on Crystal Island, have developed to perfection the lofty art of music and song. Trees.
Oh my God! If this be perfection, the tragedy is vaster than even you imagine.
How easy it is for dilettantes to criticize. Well, what do you know of music? All you people at Clan Emerald ever do is dance. Yes, and with dancing too. When I arrived, I got an eyeful of you, old friend. Mark the Old. Lumbering about this flower land like a hippopotamus.
Lumbering! You wouldn't recognize a dance if it were choreographed with an orchestra behind it. You'd mistake an arabesque for a bad case of lumbago. I'll tell you this much. Clan Azure soldiers didn't mistake me for a mere warbler, as I leapt among them tirelessly. All day it was thrust, parry, slash here, slash there.
Trees. I think it was a very harmony we struck with our topaz battle cry that terrified the Azure, sent them fleeing like a herd of buffalo before the lion. Trees.
Thrust, parry, slash here.
At last, we've been looking for you everywhere.
Joy to you, Mary. Ponder.
Well met, friends. I've just been singing a paean of victory.
Is that what all that noise was about? We thought you might be shouting for help.
And got you from my pains? Some help that would have been. Mary, your jokes have a way of setting me laughing until I feel quite helpless.
Well, we heard you bellowing something or other about trees and thought maybe you'd lost your way among them.
Lost in the forest, lost in the woods of life.
Ponder, is nothing safe from your philosophizing?
You people of Clan Ruby would benefit from a little more philosophy.
And your clan Amethyst would benefit from a little touch of merriment.
My reference to the woods of life was an allusion merely.
Yes, with you people, it's illusions from dawn till midnight.
An allusion to life's uncertainties. Wasn't yesterday's victory, too, in some part an accident?
Never! It was by might we conquered!
Ah, thrust parry! Thrust parry!
Does it even deserve to be called a victory? Winning ought to imply gain. What sort of gain is it merely to eliminate one's foe?
Ponder. Philosophizing makes you people of Clan Amethyst so weighty. Why put one of you on a ship and the captain wouldn't dare take on more cargo? No, I agree. There's a time to ponder deeply. That's a good one. But there's also a time to laugh.
Yes!
And today, my friends, is a day for merriment.
Yes!
Just think, once more we can laugh
Aha!
again, make jokes again, and rejoice again.
Yes!
And our hearts can turn to other things, like
Well?
love.
Love, did you say? Is this Mary speaking?
What, can a person be merry and still fall in love?
Well, I suppose so, or Clan Ruby wouldn't have survived. But it's that tone in your voice, that note of reverence. Why, I'd expect you, if you ever fall in love, to court the girl by asking her what the firefly said when his tail was cut off.
What did it say?
Delighted no end! Well, anyway, it's suitable for you to heave love's heavy sigh as well
As for a robin to sing solos in church to an organ accompaniment.
You haven't seen the girl.
She probably hasn't seen you either. My friend, cling to that advantage. I can just imagine her wandering down a country lane, brooding on how the heathen thinks with her kid brother for some trick he played on her, and there you are, gazing out from behind a bush, all starry-eyed. Then, in an awed whisper, you gasp, "What a goddess!"
That's the way with you life of the party types. When you wax serious, the wax melts. You become maudlin.
Come on, Mary, tell us. Who is she? Who's the girl?
Her name is Crystal.
Not the girl of my clan. Not Sardok's daughter.
You know her? Yes, that's the one. But what's wrong? I know for a fact she isn't married.
She might as well be, for all the freedom Sardok gives her. He opposes marriage even within our own clan Amethyst. In fact, he opposes friendly cooperation of any kind, unless it's to his own advantage. Philosophical rumination has soured him on the human race. It causes him to cast aspersions on the noblest motives.
That's the trouble with philosophers. When they aren't making illusions, they're blindly casting aspersions. Why, they analyze the fun out of a country dance.
And the heart out of a love song.
And the laughter out of a joke. But Crystal's not like that at all. Sardok's a sour apple, but Crystal is as sweet as a peach. I've seen her smile, I've heard her laugh. The very flow of her thoughts seem to carry her, as if floating on a mountain brook towards gay pastures.
What is she, Grace?
Gay meadows, I should have said.
Each of us gets caught, Mary, at his weakest point. You want her to be gay, but mark my words, it won't be long before this gaiety of hers, product of your own fevered imagination, or I'm a buffalo, will be dragged down, and your sunny disposition with it, to the pits of philosophic gloom. Sardok today, I tell you, is your Crystal tomorrow.
Never!
Robin, Balton, philosophy isn't always the gloomy thing you seem to think it. It's a way of facing gloom and overcoming it.
I know a better way, sing!
Dance!
Laugh?
No, meet it head on. See it for what it is, a mere bubble. And it will burst and disappear. Well, but friends, let's not permit our clan strengths to divide us. Let's join hands and find a way to help Mary out of his woods of diffident courtship.
You see, Mary, you're the one who's lost. Trees, trees,
Speaking of that, look who's coming to the trees right now.
Lord Christar!
Just look at that crowd! What enthusiasm!
Fire oppression, free from army shouting hate, free at last from brute aggression, free a new life to create. Let us now hands join together, Bless with peace our native isle. Bless our fields of flowering heather. May all hearts be free of guile. Let us build new lives in beauty. Let the grass wave full and green. Let peace be our highest duty. Joy in every eye be seen. Free at last from dire oppression, free from army shouting hate, free at last from brute aggression, free a new life to create. Friends, the dawn so long awaited has come at last. Much too long did the gales of war sweep howling over wasted pastures, keen through ruins of once cherished homes, and shriek with mocking glee where all around lay desolation. Too long have our women trembled in darkened rooms, afraid of every sound lest some stern, heavy, and booted footstep halt by their front door, and the knock that followed be the enemy's. Afraid, even more achingly, of what doleful news the slowly marching weeks might bring. Too long have the ambitions of our youths been warped to dark and violent ends. Too long has creativity been praised there where its art most thoroughly destroys. Friends, from today, let us create peace.
My lord, may we hear how you so bravely, with unprecedented daring and imagination, brought Lord Stolar's boastful host, so much more developed than our own, to such total ruin?
The credit belongs to all our clan. Even the small part I played was not really mine at all. For the battle plan was revealed to me, as if by some subtle influence. Here in Crystal Glen I sat, heart clouded with despair. My hopes were like a tattered shroud upon the corpse of our former expectations. Defeated in spirit, though not yet in fact, and finding no way to inject fresh life into our desperate cause, I offered my thoughts up to inner silence. For a time, I waited. Then suddenly, I understood what I must do. I saw as clearly as if the battle stormed about me. Swords clashed and soldiers struck and died. A ruse by which our lesser strengths would win the war against Clan Azure's hordes. In the final days before our last desperate stand, we'd found ourselves backed against the mountain, remorselessly driven from field to blackened field, from tree to blighted, broken tree. Surrender, counting arrogantly the heart-wrenching hours, stalked us throughout our sorrowful retreat. That last day, our enemies, weighty from toasting their all but certain victory, rushed into the fray, undisciplined, pell-mell, intent on making one bold final thrust. Reason might have warned them to step carefully, for how true it is that thought is mightier than brute force, and inspiration more perceptive than plans conceived under the influence of habit.
But so have our great bards sung. That thought alone is wise, sang one, which is allied not to dry reason, but to the inspiration of song and music.
Good husband, leave for now those ancient bards. What Lord Christar is telling us today will be, as you two remarked, tomorrow's history.
Hey, Mary, am I glad to see you here. Let me first set the battle scene. Next, you can relate the part Clan Ruby played in our historic victory.
We played indeed, sir, and Clan Azure was fair game.
But the hard work didn't come till later. You'll let me tell our part too, won't you, sir?
Bolton, how could I forget you? You shall speak later, and you both too. Robin, Ponder. I am happy to see the four of you staunchly together still.
All safe, sir. They had me to fight for them. Raspberries, flesh, flesh.
I'm sure you held your own, Bolton. But let's begin at the beginning. It was sunrise. In the lowlands where Clan Azure camped, long shadows hung, draped like inky cobwebs upon the trees and bushes. On the upper slopes, the sun was shining brightly. Farther down, however, shadows blanketed the earth, even where Clan Ruby huddled in pretended fear. At the first bugle call, the Azures charged with a great shout, rushing up the hill. Mary, tell us all that happened then.
Oh, what a brilliant victory. At first, making them think we'd stand and fight, we hacked at them fearfully with uncertain plays.
Thrust parry, smash here, smash there.
Yes, Balthon. And Mary, then?
All at once, the signal sounded for us to turn and flee up the hill. Our flight, well practiced in advance, seemed to the Azures a fear-frenzied rout. At times, we'd pretend to stumble, though in fact, we knew the ground so well that every bush and pebble was a friend. While Clan Azure labored heavily uphill behind us, waited for battle, we'd come dressed for running. Our shields, too, were made of lighter steel, each one burnished carefully in the long twilight hours the day before. Suddenly, emerging into the morning brilliance, we turned and faced them as one man, and flashed the reflected sunlight blazing upon our polished shields, down into the Azure's blinded eyes. They, panting upward through the shadowed brush, were completely unprepared for our resistance.
Even as Clan Ruby's troops came fleeing up the hill, we, Clan Emerald, opened cunningly the sluice gates which contained the waters of that little lake above. Water poured out, not enough to flood the slope, but sufficient to flow over it through channels that had been dug carefully the day before. Downward the water went bounding and gurgling, so that the earth grew slippery. Oh, how Clan Azure, their eyes already dazzled, slipped and stumbled as they continued to advance.
Oh, yeah.
Just then, Clan Topaz, reserved in ambush, far to the left and right, rushed out onto the slippery slope. That morning we wound our boots with rough bark, carefully to keep our footsteps sure. Now, with a great, terrifying cry, a wonderful harmony. We burst into the fray like a storm howling through the mountain pass. The Azures, confused by these unexpected events, were utterly unable to stand their ground. Madly they plunged downhill, great numbers falling during their rout, many breaking their limbs, many tripping over fallen comrades, and hurtling headlong, arms and legs, seeming the spokes of a turning wheel, down the rocky incline. Many, too, plunged over precipices to certain death.
Clan Emerald next, bark-shod like the others, rushed down around Clan Ruby's shield and set upon the Azures from behind. Faster and faster we drove them. Soon the fear that impelled our enemies turned into a stark panic. Terror-stricken, they stumbled down the slope in disarray like a bubbling water spill. Dispatching life from their bodies was for us as easy as scything fields of wheat.
Once the force gains momentum, it continues all but irresistibly. We had them running. Now certain victory was ours. Clan Azure had reached the plains. There, in shrunken ranks, they made a final, desperate stand. Clan Amethyst, held in reserve, emerged at this point from either side of the broad open meadow, fresh for battle. Thus we burst upon them. Then it was...
Slash here, slash there!
Exactly. Moments later, the Azures, abandoning hope, like wild beasts run into a panic by a forest fire, fled frenziedly in all directions. Clan Ruby soon joined the fray. The enemy were by now so dispersed that none of them could find the means to surrender on behalf of their whole army.
Our clans fought bravely, all of them. Only at the day's end, with the capture of Stolar, their ambitious lord, did the melee dwindle. Before it even ceased, our allied clans, outraged at the moral stench of his foul crimes, cried out, "Let the monster pay in blood!"
Yes.
For the suffering he has so callously inflicted. At that very sight, his evil head was stricken from his sin-bloated body. And then his soldiers knelt, lay down their arms, and trembling, pleaded for mercy on themselves and on their vanquished clan.
Glory to the Lord.
Let us not cry for vengeance. Stolar's dead, but was it his people who incited him to conquest? His was the sin, surely. His and that posturing pack that fawned on him like jackals, eager for what a carcass he might fling their way. Good friends, now that this war's been won, let us turn our energies not to vengeance, but to bringing a lasting peace to our poor battered Crystal Island.
Clan Azure pay dearly for the great wrongs they perpetrated on us?
Vengeance alone would be a pointless waste, but many bards in our clan's long glorious past counsel due punishment as protection against the threat of future harm.
Villain, here comes!
Did you? Spy! Intruder!
My lord, we meant to kill this Azure, this savage beast, the moment we caught him. But finding him here, sir, needless to say, sir, we now pass our vengeance over to your judgment. Shall we edify these good people by striking off? Is that right now? or is it your personal desire to take this opportunity in greater privacy?
Ah, my mother, rest her, used to say of opportunity that it's like dessert. Better grab it quick before someone else gets his muckers on it.
To quote another's mother in such a cause might seem a blasphemy. Your mother, however, seems qualified to pass as an exception.
Thank you, sir.
Was it to preserve the peace of such homes as yours that this war was fought?
Gee.
Release that man!
Thank you, Richard, sir.
Sir, this is our enemy.
Our enemies were beaten yesterday on the field of battle. Their hopes of conquest and their festering dreams of grandeur died with their defeat. What are they now but people simply? Like you and me. We have no enemies.
But my lord, this man is guilty of boldly trespassing on our territory.
Yes.
Who knows what evil he may have been plotting? Revenge, perhaps, against your sacred person.
Yes.
He may imagine his azure cause is not so completely destroyed as you, and we, sir, I might add, believe.
Such a thing did happen once centuries ago. One of our ancient bards...
Forgive me, friend, if I interrupt you. It isn't hatred I behold in this man's searching gaze. Some other thought steeled him to the courage it required to brave the roving bands of soldiers who today go shouting through these woods, drunk with the wine of victory. Boy, come closer.
Beware, my lord!
I've offered you mercy. Will you give these people cause to say later that hard justice would have been the better course?
My lord, I ask no mercy from your hands. Mercy is sought by weaklings and cowards, by men whose lives are forfeit for their crimes. I am no weakling, nor am I afraid. My life is not forfeit for any wrong I've done. I fought for Stolar because he made me do so. But his cause was not my cause, nor were his crimes my own. My heart and mind are pure in the cause of truth, and truth shall live on, even though my body die. In that truth, my lord, and not in this frail form, have I my immortality.
Bravely spoken. And will all of you say this young man must die merely because the tunic that he wears is blue? No. Yesterday, on the battlefield, as Stolar's body lay stretched out before us, like the shadows of late afternoon that spread, lengthened on the cool earth, I thought, hated he was truly, and with cause. Yes. Yet, now that his ruthless schemes have disintegrated in death's indifference, and tyrannical ambition has been quenched like straw fire in a driving rain, what is left before me but simply the finished story of a man? Already his deeds are only memories. If they live on, it will be to the extent that we ourselves give them nourishment. And with the nourishing risk contamination. For bad memories, like a pestilence, infect the mind that harbors them. Stolar must answer for his sins to a tribunal higher than our own. Yes. Meanwhile, what of us? Shall we live on in hatred? No. And if so, will not his spirit have vanquished us after all? Yes. Our duty is to ourselves, to the peace of our own conscience. Let us forgive. Yes. Young man, go with my pardon, and with that of our united clans, you are free.
I wonder to find in you such kindness. Nobility of spirit is more to be praised than the might or dignity of priests.
Had my people but known with whom it was we fought, I'm certain they would have risen against Stolar in a tidal wave of fury that would have overwhelmed him and his hated minions. Oriole!
Thank God I've come in time. Oh, my Lord Crystal, save him. He is not guilty. Starlon is as innocent as a crystal stream. Nothing he's done could deserve punishment. Starlon, when I'd heard you'd come, foolish boy, you might have waited until times were calm. When I'd heard you'd come, you were discovered and had to flee. My beloved, I never believed you'd be killed, for again and again I offered my own life in forfeit for your own. My Lord Crystal, call me. I say it. If this man must die, then tear and stab the life out of this life, then useless body. My life is the same as that, which bounds so bravely through the veins of Starlon's forward your form.
Peace, daughter, calm yourself. Who speaks of death? I just promised him his life. Let not the gusts of passion blind you to the chances of a new reality. Starlon, I learn his name only now from you, is free to return to his native land. He must, however, leave at once, for there seems to be, as if pent up in the sky above, a lightning charge, trembling with the urge to hurl new blazing bolts of violence down upon the cowering earth. Go, my son, once more I say, you are free.
Sir, I am moved by your generosity.
Oriole, my love, my visit here hasn't been in vain.
Sir, we meet now for the first time since before the war.
Oh, the joy of seeing once again your lovely smile.
Sir, your nobility has restored my faith in the future of Crystal Island.
Dearest, how can I rest without seeing you again as soon as possible? Every day in battle was for me a dream from which I hoped at any moment to awake. To behold you, to hear your voice, to tell you, dearest, 1,000 times, I am yours forever.
Ariel! What shocking news is this? What have you, our only daughter, born to our aristocratic line, to do with this common soldier? This enemy? Furtive runaway? Fugitive? Young man, tell me, what sort of parents have you?
I have no parents. My father and mother, forever adored by me, were slain by Stolar's minions.
There you have it, Oriole, an orphan. This wretch's life has been pardoned, but never, I swear to you, will I or your proud father forgive him this insolent presumption, his bold claim to your affection.
My daughter, you have a duty, not only to your people, but to your rightful claim. You, like all of us, must uphold the values which tradition, carved patiently over centuries as in rock, has hallowed. As Dalmian, our ancient bard, proclaimed, that man alone is fit for high position, who can accept it with calm and unaffected ease, who breathes no sigh of envy for those above him, nor courts close friendship with anyone below, who accepts his state as naturally as all of us accept our present age and life.
Ah, the bondage of a stagnant past. Isn't principle more important than position? Isn't fresh insight more vital than tired habit? We are men and women, made of flesh and blood, not wooden chessmen merely, standing stiffly on a checkered board.
Daughter?
No, I'll speak. It is divinely right for us to live our lives as we ourselves believe most deeply, never as others would serenely move us, left, right, diagonally, up, down. Shall we accept their bad judgment for us as our fate? No. Their wisdom, not our own, as our good fortune, and their defeat or victory on our behalf as our finalities?
Dalmian also spoke of obedience. It is a virtue, he wrote.
Forgive me, dear father, dearest mother. You know I love you both. My true desire is to obey you. But what is obedience if by living by it one merely dulls his faculties? My obedience to you, now that I have grown to womanhood, is to the truth that I perceive in you, but never Forgive me. To the error.
Error? Daughter, do you
Friends, dear friends, now is not the time, nor is it the place for controversy. Wars, clash, and agony have ended. Shall we the very next day make war again? Let the passions of our recent past burn low, when peace reigns supreme again over this our island home, and over our war-ravaged hearts. Then let us each decide in calmness on the course best to follow in our lives. Meanwhile, Mary, and all you faithful poor, Balton, Robin, Ponder, guide Starlon safely through these woods. Take him beyond the dangers that our country holds for soldiers of his clan. Pretend, for the sake of caution, to hold him sternly in your power, lest any roaming band of soldiers challenge your right to treat him mercifully.
Fear not, my lord. We'll hold him with such glowering menace that if any bands pass by, they'll hurry on with whispered sighs of gratitude that we were so fully occupied we couldn't concentrate our villainy on them.
And should they attack, it'll be thrust parry, slash here, slash there.
Balton, the men we're speaking about are soldiers in our own army.
Go then, set him safely
Down
on the
with
path.
boastful bullies everywhere!
I think you both missed your calling. You should have been woodsmen.
See how our thoughts brooding on war have overlooked our own humanity? Life is still precious. Love has survived, though hatred did its best to smother it. Lies have not silenced truth, nor have contemptible dishonor and betrayal discredited high principles. Friends, do me the kindness now of leaving me. I have a need to meditate on peace, even as until today I studied war. I wonder if at this spot what I am seeking will be given me, a plan for lasting peace. The problem has always been that our clans, except when united by our fear of Stolar, held themselves aloof from one another. Their special talents gave rise to arrogance and competition. All too seldom have nature's gifts to them fostered cooperation. But surely it is time now for a change. Stolar's aggression may be seen as but a plow that prepared the soil. If we plant well now, a new crop may flourish, one of shared understanding. As certain plants grow well together, so may this understanding inspire our clans to work together, each learning from the other, each gaining by what he gives.
Is this a suitable occasion for our commander-in-chief to be alone? The woods echo with shouts of victory. No one roams these forest lanes tonight, but would be greatly honored to share his celebration with Lord Christar.
Good hermit, the honor is mine, truly, that you would leave your hut, your prayers, and your solitude to meet me here.
The hour is momentous for Crystal Island. The potential for creative peace was never greater than it is today. Like you, I have been meditating on the road ahead of us. I see it forked to left and right. The left, an easy way, winds carelessly through barren brush and sand, the aimlessness of ancient habit. The right-hand fork is for creative men and women, those blessed with that expansive vision which lifts the mind above its birth endowments, impelling it to broaden its natural self-interest to include the good of all. This right-hand way seems difficult at first. After a little plodding effort, however, it passes through verdant fields, orchards, their sweet smell heavy on the breeze, past rose-clustered gardens and happy homes. These good things, which all men rightly crave, cannot be found aimlessly, nor achieved by any who stand resistant to new realities. Life's blessings must be sought by dedication, cooperation, and clear vision.
This, Father, is the peace I dream of, a fertile peace from which the seeds of future conflict have been purged by kindness and fellow feeling.
Victory has given you, Lord Christar, a glowing opportunity. Selfish habits of the past, accumulated like filth through long neglect, today lie scattered abroad by the winds of violence and destruction. This is a season when seeds of new ideas have a chance of sprouting and taking root, ere men's thoughts return again like bears in wintertime to their accustomed caves.
It thrills me to hear you so voice my inner thoughts. Have you suggestions, Father, for how we might proceed?
The present need is that your guidance be born of inner vision. Human thoughts drift all too easily from one ill-founded concept to another. The present need is that we build with wisdom. Let the foundation for your insights, Christar, be the bedrock of inner clarity.
This is the second time I've come here to pray. Only days ago I sat here lost in despair. Then all at once, with utter certainty, I knew what I must do. To pull from the furnace of self-doubt the sword purified and strengthened of victory. I felt that a higher presence listened to my prayers, and because my thoughts were not for myself, but for the good of all, answered me.
I am not surprised. Often here in Crystal Glen I've prayed and meditated. God's blessings linger in the very ground, even as the sunlight's warmth lingers in a rock long after darkness has cooled the changeable, unfaithful air. Had your thoughts, as you sat here, continued in despair, your curtained mind would have barred passage to inspiration's light. But your prayer was for understanding. By asking in this manner, you opened yourself to the subtle influences at work in Crystal Glen.
Such I felt was the case. Therefore am I here now.
And therefore I left my hermit cell to urge you, Christar, open yourself again to the whispers of higher guidance. Find in silence the truths which you so generously seek for others.
My lord, I didn't expect to find you here.
My child, have you too come here to pray?
I often come here, though my way of praying may well appear strange to you. I like to dance in Crystal Glen. I was first inspired to do so many months ago when I first ventured here. In swaying movement before this simple altar, it seemed all at once as though my soul were soaring upward through vast skies of spirit. Oh, but my lord, forgive me for bursting in like this. I'll leave now. Please, say a prayer for all of us, that the clans find lasting peace now that the war is over.
Such is in fact the purpose of my prayer. Please don't go. Your dancing may help me in my meditations. Pray in your way then while I seek help in mine. Yes, though I'm about to leave. Is Starlon safely on his way?
He's out of the forest, sir. We thought it wise for Robin and Balton to accompany him a distance farther.
Mary, Ponder, I've just now had a wonderful inspiration.
Have you, my lord? Does it concern the peace?
It does indeed. What, in your opinion, would the people say were I to propose continued cooperation among all the clans?
It's what the people want, sir. I'm afraid our rulers may think differently.
Now, I don't mean that any clan should renounce its own integrity, All I'd suggest is that they agree to foster continued cooperation as among brothers and sisters of one family.
The people will appreciate this concept, sir.
Oh, I understand your meaning. It's the rulers who must concern us. Historically, what they've always sought is power, not the warm handclasp of friendship.
Is your lordship thinking of some sort of peace treaty?
A peace treaty? Though documents have no more binding force than people's willingness to honor them, still, a peace treaty. Perhaps my inspiration should be spelled out formally. Friends, help me. We'll call a council of the allied rulers. Come, you can be my messengers. Let us act at once.
Commander, aren't you coming? We have work to do.
I think that never in my life have I beheld such heavenly beauty.
Come on.